Hey everyone, welcome back to a new Lusty94 Scripts showcase video. Today we are looking at my latest release, Multi-Pharmacies. This script allows server owners to create pharmacy locations anywhere they require. Pharmacy employees can then create medical items for patients, create prescriptions and much more. So let's dive straight in and take a look. Okay, so by default there are 4 locations set up for use. These are Pillbox Hospital, Vinewood, Little Seoul and Vespucci pharmacies. Today we are at the Vespucci location, and to start with you will need to go to sign on duty. This can be done in the office or wherever you set. Simply interacting with it toggles your duty status. Let's dive into the crafting aspect now. In order to craft items you might need some supplies. To get these, head on over to the supplies location and interact with it. This will open an input window where you can select multiple items from the drop down menu and the amounts that you want of that item. There are 2 stations for crafting, supplies crafting and medical items. These recipes are unique to each location and can be fully customized for each one to suit your server requirements, so each one can be unique. If enabled in the config, you can set crafting to require the use of plastic gloves before being able to make anything. You can get a pair of gloves from the supply station. If it's disabled, players can still use them for immersion purposes, they're just not required to craft. But using the gloves will start a progress circle and an animation and apply the gloves to your character's hands. To craft items, simply interact with the relevant crafting station, which will open the main crafting menu and display all available categories. Selecting a category opens a sub-menu of all items available to craft within this category. Each recipe shows the craftable item, its recipe requirements and what the recipe returns from crafting that item. Selecting an item to craft opens an input window where you can select how many you want to make, the maximum amount permitted being the maximum amount of that item you have on you for each recipe. Selecting craft can start a skill check if required, or just a progress circle which is defined via the recipe. Everything here is fully configurable for each recipe. The amount that you choose to craft is how much the duration timer is then multiplied by. Now we will take a look at the storage system. Each location can have as many stashes as required, but in this location there are 2 storage shelves and a boss stash. Everything is fully configurable for stash slot count, stash weight and stash names. Each location can also have a collection tray for employees to place patient orders in. To open the boss stash, you can define what minimum rank is required in the config to open these stashes. Okay, so on to the billing now. When you have crafted items, you will want to sell them to customers and bill them. You can do this by interacting with the billing location. Doing so opens the billing input where you can define the customer's server ID, you can define the bill price, choose a payment type, either cash or bank, and optionally define the items sold if required. This will then send the bill to the customer, which opens a confirmation window for them which details their charges and payment type, etc. Once the customer confirms the bill, you can define if the employee should receive some commission for the sale or if the funds should go directly to the society account. Let's now take a look at the prescriptions feature of this script. Pharmacy employees can write out prescriptions for patients if they wish. Players can use a command to view their citizen ID and display the 3D information above their heads to nearby players. Using the command create prescription will open the input menu where employees can define various data. First, you can define the server ID of the patient. This will give the prescription paper item directly to them. You can then define the patient's citizen ID, define their name in full, choose the duration of their prescription with the total amount of days being defined in the config, select medication from the available drop-down menu, and how many per day can be redeemed. Write in prescription will then submit all the defined data and the patient can then get their prescription items. Okay, so as a patient, to view your prescription you can either use the prescription paper item, which will open the prescriptions menu, or you can also use the command my prescriptions. In this case we're going to use the item. Doing so will display the patient's name, their citizen ID and the expiration date of this prescription. They can then select the respective items to redeem and are given those items. Once an item is redeemed, it is then marked as disabled in the menu until the next day before being able to be redeemed again. Once the prescription has expired, it is then removed from the database, allowing patients to get another one. Employees that have the boss rank capability can edit prescriptions if required. To edit a prescription, use the command edit prescription. This will open a menu of all currently active prescriptions. The menu will show the patient's name and their citizen ID, the expiration date and who it was issued by, alongside their pharmacy location name. Selecting an entry will open a sub-menu, and here you can choose to extend the duration, add medication to it, or edit the current medication available and the amounts per day. To extend, select the extend duration and define the amount of days that you wish to extend it by. To add medication, select add medication and choose from the available options and choose their respective maximum amount per day. If the medication already exists, it notifies you of this and informs you to edit the prescription instead. Selecting a chosen medication item allows you to change the maximum amount per day and optionally remove the medication entirely from the active prescription. You can also revoke prescriptions, which immediately removes it from the patient and clears the database entry for them. This script features an inbuilt consumable system for the medical items that you craft. You can define what benefits you get for that item in the consumables configuration file. Items can give you a health boost, increase armor levels, reduce stress levels, and even heal injuries, either partially or in full. Each item is fully customizable to suit your requirements, and you can optionally set required items to use that consumable and even a return item from using it also. Okay, so lastly, let's look at the sleeping tablets. Employee can craft sleeping tablets which patients can take. Doing so will start a small screen effect and animation for the character. Their screen will then go blank for a defined duration of time. This imitates the character being asleep. This can be used perfectly in roleplay scenarios for things like major surgeries in hospitals or similar events. Once the duration timer is finished, text is displayed on the screen informing the player they can press a button to wake up. This will then slowly clear the screen effects and stops their animation before notifying them that they have woken up. Okay guys, so you have reached the end of this showcase video for multi-pharmacies. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as this really helps the channel grow. Remember, the only place to ever get this script from is my official Tebex store, lusty94.tebex.io, and nowhere else. With it being so close to Christmas, I'd like to take this opportunity to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. 2026 will bring some new scripts and fresh ideas, so I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.